The ancient texts of the Panchatantra feature a story centered around a profound physical mismatch. On one side, a tiny, fragile shorebird. On the other, the dark, churning expanse of the ocean. The conflict began when the male bird stubbornly refused to move his nest inland to protect it. The ocean, hearing his arrogant boasting, enacted a petty retaliation, swallowing the bird's newly laid eggs in a single wave to teach him a lesson. This split-screen data visualization calculates the bird's reactionary strategy. Humiliated, he vowed to physically drain the sea dry, drop by drop, using only his beak. The comparison of the beak's minuscule cubic volume against the total volume of the ocean demonstrates a clear mathematical impossibility. To see why that extraction rate is completely hopeless, we have to look at the continuous input on this flowchart. Even if the bird worked for eternity, the ocean is constantly replenished by massive continental runoff. The text names rivers like the Ganges and the Indus. They dump hundreds of thousands of cubic feet of water into the ocean every second. When facing an opponent that commands infinite geographical resources, physical effort becomes a drain on the individual rather than a threat to the system. The bird's wife, along with their entire flock of friends, recognized this immediately. They gathered together and dismissed his plan to drain the ocean as useless babbling. They knew that isolated physical labor would fail. To get the eggs back, they needed to abandon brute force, organize into a collective, and file a unified grievance. This network map outlines a tactical concept known as the Escalation Ladder, a localized, powerless grievance, represented by our single small note here, expands horizontally to gather numbers, and then draws a vertical line straight up the chain of command to locate a vastly stronger proxy. As we focus on the apex node, notice the specific pitch the flock used. They didn't present the stolen eggs as a sad personal tragedy. They framed the ocean's theft as a direct structural threat to their king's authority over his subjects. That king was Garuda, the divine protector and sovereign of all birds. Hearing his jurisdiction mocked, he assumed their cause. Shifting a problem from a localized complaint to a jurisdictional insult is the fastest method to recruit a powerful ally to fight on your behalf. Garuda readied himself to confront the ocean, but his mission was halted before it even began. A messenger arrived with an urgent summons. Garuda's own master, Lord Vishnu, required his immediate divine assistance. Rather than obeying his master or fighting the sea, Garuda chooses calculated inaction. He folds his wings and flatly refuses to work. He established a strict condition for his labor. According to the texts, the sea is Lord Vishnu's resting place. Garuda refused to serve a master whose own estate actively abused his loyal subjects. Looking at this expanded network diagram, the completed chain of influence is clear. A tiny bird on a beach has bypassed every local obstacle, drawing a direct, unbroken line to the supreme deity. Vishnu quickly realized he was entirely reliant on a striking worker. To restore his divine operations, he had to intervene as the ultimate proxy. Leverage is rarely found in direct combat. It comes from identifying a dependency in the opponent's chain of command and applying pressure at that specific link. The narrative climax completely bypasses physical labor. Lord Vishnu simply descends to the shoreline, raises a thunderbolt, and threatens the ocean with his anger. The terrified sea immediately apologizes and pulls back its tide, returning the eggs safely to the sand. The conflict ends without a single drop of water being drained. The Panchatantra distills this victory into a single philosophical synthesis. Do not underestimate the power of the timid. Modern readers easily misinterpret that line as a romantic platitude about underdogs. In context, it is a highly mechanical warning about the invisible strength of networks. The bird's tiny beak never defeated the churning waves. The victory resulted from a sequence of interactions that eventually directed the path of a thunderbolt. When faced with impossible odds, trying to drink the ocean drop by drop will only destroy you. Gather your allies, map your escalation ladder, and let the chain of influence win the battle.